Hey, what's up guys? My name is KSK Ryle. Welcome back to another Linux video. In this video, I will show you how to install Pop! OS on any PC or laptop using a VMware Workstation Player. VMware is an application software that can be installed on Windows computer that allows to create a virtual environment which helps to run operating system inside another operating system. Meaning you can use a Windows and Pop! OS at the same time side by side on your computer. Now, Windows provide hardware resources to the virtual machine that lets you run as many operating systems as you want without the need of setting up any dual boot. When you compare VMware with Oracle's VirtualBox, it provides a low latency interaction and supplies better graphics to the virtual machine and helps to run Pop! OS as smooth as physical machine. Now, the only prerequisites of this video: make sure your PC or laptop has a 64-bit processor and supports Intel VT-D or AMD-V virtualization technologies. Also, you need a 20 GB of free space left inside a Windows operating system for virtual machine. Now, without further ado, let's get into the installation part. Now, on your Windows computer, go ahead, open your favorite browser and search for Pop! OS on Google and select the first link to download the image file. Now, this will take you to the official website of Pop! OS. From here, click on the download button from the top right and grab the latest version of Pop! OS. There are two versions available. I'm going to choose the Nvidia edition since this ISO image comes with Nvidia drivers out of the box. Now, along with Pop! OS image file, you need to download a VMware Workstation Player from the link in the description box down below. Don't worry, you can use a VMware Workstation Player for free if you're a single user. Now, once it's done downloading all of the files, place it somewhere inside your computer for easier navigation. Now, go ahead and install VMware Workstation on your computer and open it. Now, once it's open, as you can see, this is the default user interface of VMware. To the left, you will see all of the virtual machines, and on the right hand side, you will see the settings for the selected virtual machine. Now, it's time to create a virtual machine for Pop! OS. To do so, click on Create a new virtual machine. Then a pop-up window will show up. Here, select I will install the operating system later. Then click on Next. Now, here choose Linux as a guest operating system and set the version to Ubuntu 64-bit. Since Pop! OS is based on Ubuntu Linux, it's better to choose the version type as Ubuntu 64-bit and then click on Next. Now, name your virtual machine from here. I'm going to type Pop! OS as default one, and this is the place of where the files of this virtual machine will be stored inside your computer. Now, go ahead, click on Next. Now, keep in mind you need at least 20 GB or higher amount of free space is required for this installation, and make sure your C drive has the required amount of free space. Now, choose the amount of space to 20 GB or higher and select Store Virtual Disk as single file, and then click on Next to finish creating the virtual machine. On the left, you can see the newly created virtual OS. Now, go ahead and select Edit Virtual Machine Settings. This will help to allocate the hardware resources for Pop! OS to run as smooth as possible. For that, I'm going to increase the size of RAM from 2 to 4 GB. And for processor, I will set 2 cores for Pop! OS. Once it's done, select Display and make sure to enable the Accelerate 3D Graphics option. Once it's done, at the bottom you can see the option to increase the graphics memory. If your PC has plenty amount of graphics memory, you can choose as much as you want. Higher the graphics means higher the performance and more smoother it can be. Now, in this case, I'm going to allocate 1 GB of memory for graphics. Now, it's time to mount the ISO image file. For that, select a CD or DVD and choose ISO image file to import the downloaded Pop! OS image file. Go ahead and look for Pop! OS ISO file and import it. Once it's done, now click on OK to finish configuring virtual machine. Now go ahead and start the virtual machine from the top by clicking on the play button, and the virtual machine will start running the live setup of Pop! OS. Now keep in mind, whenever you're interacting with virtual machine, the mouse input will be used by VMware. To release the mouse cursor input back to host OS, which is a Windows OS, use Ctrl plus Alt keys on your keyboard. This way the cursor input will be redirected back to Windows OS. Now as you can see, Pop! OS live setup has booted up successfully. I'm going to quickly jump into the full screen mode by using this option. Now as you can see, it's not scaled up to the full resolution, but don't worry, we're gonna fix that issue in post-installation part. For now, choose language as English, as well as keyboard layout. Once it's done, now go ahead and select the first option called a clean install. Upon selecting this option, the live setup will detect the free space which we have allocated before. Just gonna go ahead, choose a VMware option here, and then click on Erase and Install. Now choose Do Not Encrypt the Drive and start installing the Pop! OS. Sit back and relax, the installation process will take some time, so be patient and don't interrupt anything. Now as you can see, the installation was successful. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of the full screen mode. Now here choose a player and then select Manage and then choose a virtual machine settings. Then select a CD or DVD option and disconnect the ISO by disabling this option. Now once it's done, go ahead and reset the virtual machine to boot into Pop! OS. That's it, now we have successfully installed Pop! OS inside a virtual machine. Now the final step of this installation is setting up VMware tools. If you notice, whenever you use the full screen mode, Pop! OS is not filling up the whole screen, which is sort of bummer. But don't worry, we can fix that issue very easily using VMware tools. To do so, select the player, then choose Manage and select Install VMware Tools. This will mount VMware Tools inside Pop! OS. Go ahead, open the VMware Tools inside File Manager. Then inside this directory, copy a VMware Tools image to the desktop. Now right-click here and choose Open in Terminal. Now inside Terminal, type this command to extract that file. Now go ahead and change the directory into the extracted folder by typing this command. Now type this command to change the permission for this file. Once it's done, type this command to start installing all the required drivers. You will need to keep on pressing enter to finish installing all the required drivers. Once it's done, reboot your virtual machine. Now if you notice, Pop! OS is using the full screen resolution, which is super amazing. Now lastly, as a part of bonus tip, If you notice, every window application in Pop! OS is not having a maximize or minimize buttons. So this will cause a problem for some users. To fix this issue, open Terminal and type this command line to install the GNOME tweak tools. Once it's installed, type GNOME-tweaks to open the application. Now inside this tweaker application, you can change the font, you can change the themes, and you can do a lot of things. For now, choose a window tile bars, and from here you can enable or disable the minimize or maximize buttons for window applications. That's it guys, this is how you install Pop! OS inside any PC or laptop using a VMware Workstation Player for free. I hope you like this video. If you do, then hit the thumbs up button down there, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and consider clicking the bell button next to it to get notified whenever I post a new video. So thanks for watching this video. This has been KSK Royal, and I will catch you in my next video. Peace.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah.